Hey there! Oh, what's this? Just the most incredible video game podcast. Oh, the hosts?
Two dudes chiseled from the highest peak of Gamer Mountain, Tim Shortell and Val Janvier. Oh yeah! Welcome to the Couch Jockeys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another splendiferous rendition of The Couch Jockeys. We are your hosts. I am Tim Shortell.
And I am Valerie Janvier.
And we are here to talk about games, and our special guest for this evening...
The voice of the Couch Jockeys.
The voice of the intro of The Couch Jockeys. Ladies and gentlemen, John Panepinto.
Hi guys, happy to be here.
just constant professional. Can't deny that. Cover up that cough, young man.
That's right. We got a wonderful show for you tonight. We are talking Switch's online pricing, correct? Okay. We're talking video game reboots and a very wonderful rendition of Party Chat today involving bad video game movies.
Oh, there's tons of them.
Which there is so much to talk about.
I just watched one, so I'm ready to get this show going.
All right. Let's get this show going. Boo, boo, boo.
Constantly being the Switch proponent on this podcast, looking at what they have available, saying that the online component, so the services, the subscription is going to be $30 a month. I'm like, all right, I could deal with that price. That's cool. Now, when you look at Microsoft and Sony, they offer it for $60 a month, and we've all accepted that. It's been that way for a few years now, and it's making me think, like, what is Nintendo going to be offering at that $30 value?
Is it $60 a month for PlayStation?
It's $60. I mean, it depends. It depends on, like, you know.
I think
like everybody.
I got my bill last week and I thought it was $60 for the year.
No. Oh, fuck. It's
$60 for the year, right?
Yeah. It's $60.
So it's $30 a month for Nintendo?
No.
They're giving you a hell of a lot.
I just screwed up everything that I've been saying. It's $30 for the year. $60.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what you had me
Yeah,
on. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, Nintendo's really going to give me everything they ever had.
This is a good thing this is not a publication.
Right.
You can easily retract your statement immediately. Yeah, $60 a year. And, you know, with both of those systems, that means that you get, you know, either a free game every month, a couple of free games every month. You get a reduced rate on, like, you know, certain games. You also get, like, streaming services. Nintendo already said for the $30 a year value that you won't be. Right now, they have no talks about streaming services.
I find that hard to believe. The Wii had Netflix.
Yeah, so I'm like,
and the Wii had Bupkis, as it were. And the Wii had Netflix. And with PlayStation, you can use Netflix. I mean, I can't speak for Xbox, but I'm assuming it's the same.
yes.
PlayStation, you can use Xbox. You can use Netflix on PlayStation without paying.
Yeah,
for the internet service. So I have a feeling that Nintendo's not talking about streaming services because they don't need to. They're just going to be there. You have
to though. Like, let people know that you're going to have streaming services, or what streaming services you may have opposed to everybody else. Like, I don't know about, like, the PlayStation Plus, but I know on, like, Xbox One you can get Crackle. I don't know if everybody's looking for Crackle, but you know,
I
like,
think you can.
There's a Snatch show coming out on it really soon, so people may be interested in it for that.
Right.
But, you know, in comparison, like, if we say, okay, so streaming services is going to be available, all right, what about the games? Like, you get a free game a month, but you can only play that game for that month. Does that sound like something that you are willing to pay $30 a year for?
Well, I would. Okay, so I want to get in. You guys have your opinions that are known on this show about the Switch, and you guys know this privately. But my opinion on the Switch is, I am very much for it, but in a way less educated way than Val. I just will give Nintendo whatever it is they are asking of me. Whatever Nintendo wants from me, I will give them.
No.
And they have failed me time and time again, and it doesn't matter.
This sounds like an abusive relationship.
It is an abusive relationship. Being with Nintendo, being a big fan of Nintendo, is an abusive relationship. They give me no games I ever want. I'll buy every system on day one. I am furious, as you guys both know, that I could not get a pre-order for the Switch.
Right.
I'm furious. Give me it, glitches and all. I'll take it.
Oh,
you want to
no.
bundle something, save me some money? Save that. Give me the thing. I'll pay you separately, whatever, the Pro Controller, day one. I don't care. So
But
I'm going to pay you $30 for the year. And those downloadable games, they're going to be like Shovel Knight and stuff.
Right.
And I'm not going to touch it. But I'll pay you the $30. So, like, I have a very interesting opinion. You guys know on the outside already that I have some interesting opinions on games like that. And
like Shovel Knight.
Like Shovel Knight.
Well, I mean, Shovel Knight, I did see something earlier that Shovel Knight is going to be a game at some point this year available for the Switch. My thing is more of like, let's say there's some game that you haven't played in a very long time, like the very first Metroid. If that happens to be one of the games that they release the first month that the system comes out, and you're playing it and you get not even all the way through, but you're happy with your achievements and how much you've done, and then next month that game is gone. Now, are they going to tell you that you have to buy it, or is it going to be available later in the year? My thing is like with the other systems, even if you get a demo or a beta or whatever of a game, if it's free, if it's on your system and you download it, it's always on your system.
As you keep paying, it's
Yeah,
yours. Right.
yeah, it's always there. So if I'm paying you whatever amount of money, $30 a year, $60 a year, if I'm paying you that amount of money, shouldn't I be able to say, I want to keep this on my system? I know I don't think they have anything like in the cloud, but I should be able to like download it onto the handheld device, or I mean, of course you can't save it to the dock. There should be some way that you could save these titles.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really interesting, but I, for some reason, in the back of my mind, keep reading $30 a year is $30 a month. I realize we just made a joke about that.
Yeah.
But,
My
I'm looking at
dyslexia
it.
came out.
I'm crunching numbers. We're talking like $2.50 a month to basically just enable online services. No Netflix, no nothing. It's super bare bones, but $2.50 a month is really
They could give
not
me nothing for $250 a month. I would pay it.
No, well, that's
I mean, maybe it's something that it's a benefit to your because they have like a smart device app that they keep on talking about that they haven't been that in depth about. So maybe it's something that benefits.
I guess I just don't think it's terrible. I think for $2.50 a month, they'll allow me to play a game for a month, and then if I want to keep playing it, then I can go out and buy it outright. I'm sure whatever they're going to give us, it could be great. It could be like Super Mario 3. It could be a game that everybody forgot about, or it could be a game everybody hated, like, I don't know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for NES or something. Not that it was a bad game. It was just really hard. But
I don't know.
I don't know. $250 is not so bad. Like, I mean, I don't think they're asking very much in comparison to I don't think Nintendo's ever made an attempt to say that, oh, we're just like PlayStation or we're just like Xbox.
Of course. No
so
way.
to only ask for $250 a month, I mean, that was cheaper than World of Warcraft ever asked for. They wanted $10 a month to run a server.
Yeah.
And now you got Nintendo, who basically just wants online support, and they'll even throw you a trial for $250 a month. I like $30 a year sounds like a lot in a strange way for some reason.
The price is
for
not even
Nintendo
the
because
price
it came
is not
from
even
free.
my issue. Like the $30
What you're gonna get
is what I'm getting is the issue. Like $30 a year sounds fantastic. Now, someone as myself who I don't play that many multiplayer games. That's usually why a lot of people who get like those kind of packages are willing to pay it. But whenever the chance comes up, if I was able to pay $30 a year for that would be incredible. That's a great price. My thing is, I feel like there's some things that Nintendo should just look at what the other companies are doing and say, okay, we'll give you that as well. Like why would you give me something and then take it away and then say,
because they want you to buy it.
yeah, but like I mean, yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, the thing is that Nintendo famously doesn't care what you think
They don't
or
care
what
about
you want.
shit.
Like, there's no reason that the Wii shouldn't have been able to play DVDs. That's ridiculous. And then the Wii U came out, and forget Blu-rays, it still couldn't even play DVDs.
Right, yeah.
They don't care. But they did have, I would say, I would not, and this is just me, I wouldn't be surprised if when the Switch comes out, you will be able to access a library of apps like Netflix and stuff without them needing to mention it. Because they're leaving a lot of information out about it. If you look at
It's like less than a month away. Like
I know, but with less than a month away, if you look up the Switch, you'll find in the fine print that it is a touchscreen.
Right.
They
Which
have
is-
made no mention of the fact that it's a touchscreen,
Yeah.
but it is.
And I've
They're
seen
just hiding stuff.
yeah,
from
and I've
you.
seen some video of that, and it's just like, why is it?
Why is it a touchscreen?
Why is it a touchscreen?
I don't know.
Is it because what is that game? Snipper Clips.
They actually
Maybe for that game, I could see.
haircutting game?
No. It's basically like a 2-player game. You have a
It's a
Joy-Con, I have a Joy-Con, and we're basically trying to figure out these puzzles, and we're capable. It's pretty innovative.
Is it like arms?
No. It's basically like, we're both like a U shape, and then I can approach you and like, erase a piece of your shape, and that can help us like figure out a puzzle. So it's a good like type of like 2-player puzzle game. So maybe that is something that will need the touchscreen, but I'm just like, yeah, like it's touchscreen. How come they never mentioned that?
Putting
Like,
all their cards on the table.
maybe they're gonna
right away.
maybe that's something for Pikmin.
I don't know.
Why is it?
Apparently, IGN showed that the only time it was ever really used was to navigate through a menu in a Skywalker's game or Skylanders. Thank
Right.
you. Skywalker's different thing.
Yeah.
I'll put a slight curve on this conversation. Do you think Nintendo recognizes and just admits they are a secondary system offering price ranges like that and limited? Like John was saying how upset he was about it doesn't play DVDs, and then it
doesn't have Blu-ray.
Wii U didn't even
Yeah.
have the option to play any kind of disc. Like I wonder if they just straight up admit that like we're not the entertainment system. That's what you bought Microsoft and Sony for.
Right.
Yeah.
But we do play games and we do have that, so that's what we're gonna offer you. Or maybe they were still kind of confused in their market. Maybe they were like, well, maybe little kids don't want to play DVDs, or they're not looking for Netflix.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean,
I'm not defending them, but I'm curious. Like, do you guys think that Nintendo? It's strange. They're in a weird situation now because they have all these third-party developers, and they now have access to more or less the same resources as Sony and Microsoft does.
Right, yeah.
Maybe not as powerful as them, but they have the connections, and they're able to produce the same tier quality games.
Yeah.
I would say to an extent, and but they're still designing the Switch to be like, no, we're not. We are second best. Like, we're not as powerful. We're not going to be your main source of entertainment. You're not going to see Spotify and Netflix and
Yeah.
Crackle. I know how John loves Crackle.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I'm just like this is the result of being a greedy gamer. Like, if I can have that, I already know that Nintendo is not an entertainment center. Just like John said, like, it doesn't offer you the capabilities of putting in a disc. Like they've even gone further away with that right now. Like, you could just put in a cartridge at this point. So I know Nintendo is not there for me to be my entertainment center. But I'd like the option.
Even think about the naming. Xbox One and PlayStation 4, right? Somewhere in there, it says entertainment system.
Right.
Sony Entertainment System.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or Microsoft even. I think it has it in there. Don't check me on that. Nintendo never says that.
It's a home console.
Right. I like to think of it in this way. If you were to look at the trajectory of PlayStation and Xbox, on a page, it would be a straight line. Everything's a step forward. Nothing steps backwards.
Right.
Both of them are neck and neck stepping forward. Then you look at Nintendo comparatively, and Nintendo is going to look like a game of like Centipede. Like, it's literally like steps to the left, to the right, sometimes backwards in some things, sometimes forward, sometimes 3 steps forward,
Right.
then a step backwards, then lefts and rights, and they are a completely different thing. They know they're different. They're not trying to compete, and that's what's good about them. And people get mad because they're like, oh, Nintendo is they're clearly second best, as Tim would put it, but that's not true at all. They're just something completely different. They know that. I'm surprised they're even going to have something comparatively to the pay online thing.
Right.
Like the other systems do. Maybe they have to keep up what they want to do, like their servers, but I don't think that they're trying to be the same thing as we're going to give you games every month. They don't care about that.
Yeah, I read that somewhere that the price is really
They're
there
going to charge full price for ARMS.
Yeah, the
they
price is there
clearly don't care.
to support the system and ARMS.
Yeah, they don't care.
And like back to what Tim was saying, like they are actually, like the Unreal Engine and the Unity engine, like these are things that like people use now. Like once you hear they're a part of a game, you're just like, oh, I know it's the realism, like it's gonna look great. So Nintendo, you know, like with the third party support, they're everybody's like in to see what is gonna happen with the system. So I'm, you know, once again, reserved excitement. You know, unlike John,
That's
I'm
smart.
not.
That's
I'm not
smart.
going.
I'm in.
I'm not getting the system when it drops. It's just like
And I hate them, and I'm in. I hate it, and I'm in.
I just want just tell me more about what that $30 is gonna get me.
Yeah.
That's it.
I absolutely love John's love-hate relationship with Nintendo. The more he talks, the more I'm so it's
an
like
abusive
watching a
ex-girlfriend.
drama. It's like watching a soap opera.
Look
It's
at some of these games. Look at something like
Arms?
What's not Arms? What's that game? The one that everybody loves.
1-2 Switch.
No, no.
Splatoon 2.
The one everybody loves for PlayStation that I've just started playing. Oh, Last of Us.
Right.
Okay, it is so realistic looking. Every game on PlayStation and Xbox wants to be as realistic. We have the graphics. We have the ability to make it look as real as possible. And what does Nintendo do? They get the newest system.
Right.
They get out their Zelda game, open world, and they go, you know what? It's still going to look like a cartoon.
Yeah.
They could make a Zelda game that looks like it is real people in a real world. It could be awesome, and they're still like, F you. No, it's a cartoon. And you're like, whatever, Nintendo.
I guess
whatever
so.
you want to do. You want to put out 8,000 commercials? You want to spend $1 million to put a commercial on the Super Bowl that shows me literally the same thing I've seen from Zelda for the past 2 years?
Right.
Do it. Fine. Whatever it is. I don't care. Just send it to my house on the day it comes out.
God. This section of Bit from the Past features reboots, which we've all known to love and hate. I guess it's pretty controversial, right? I guess everyone has their different opinions on it.
Right.
I'll start. I'll start by throwing a couple honorable mentions. For starter, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider has gone from the PlayStation 1 and big boxy icons
Yeah.
to
We know what you're talking
to
about.
the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I think is an incredible
It's an-
reboot
That's an amazing game.
and has saved, and
Right.
pretty much saved it. Mortal Kombat, another one that has gone from Super Nintendo to the Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Great
And
job.
It's matured so much.
Good job, guys. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Right. Some more. I'm sorry. Maybe one more good one. Star Fox.
Oh,
Star Fox was Super Nintendo, then went to Nintendo
Yeah.
64.
Oh, you're counting the Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
You
well,
know-
I'm
You know,
gonna
Star Fox
I'm gonna
64
stop
was tight,
there
yeah.
because I think they did push it a little bit after that, but it didn't
Yeah.
review so well. So I'm kind of dipping into. Most people would agree on the first couple. Now I'm getting into kind of you debate about it a little bit. You debate about it a little bit.
Right.
Other ones include Bomberman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Bomberman is going from Super Nintendo all the way to the Nintendo Switch in March.
We could talk on about Bomberman. I have a lot of feelings about it.
Some less popular ones. Need for Speed was a little controversial.
The
Need
movie?
for Speed. No, not the movie. That's the next section. Need for Speed has gone from maybe all the way from PlayStation 1. I believe it was all the way PlayStation 1.
I feel like a PlayStation 2, but I don't have a computer in front of me, so don't quote me.
All right, so maybe
Please don't
I'll just
quote me.
pretend I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Need for Speed has had Need for Speed has had some great and not so great games. I think
Yeah.
the reboots actually did really well, but then they kind of saw the market was really into it, and then they just kept pumping out more and more of them, and the more that they made, the more like every other one was an actual hit.
Yeah, I mean, like, whenever I think about reboots, I'm like, you know what? I don't even care about, like, what the company's made. I'm always just like, this is what I would make. You know, like, this is how I would change the game. Like, whenever I think of, like, everyone loved Double Dragon. I love Double Dragon as a kid. They've had like so many more titles come out, and it's still like the same type of like 2D side-scrolling type of thing. I'm like, forget about that. Adopt what they did with games like Sleeping Dogs, where you are, you can still have the two brothers, but you're like actually traversing like a real place, like you're running in the streets, you're driving cars, like things like that. Make it fun. You're still like trying to like save whatever the damsel in distress is. I'm always thinking like, okay, not what they did, but what they can do to appeal to the current generation.
Now, are we defining reboots as they're restarting, doing the first game in a new style,
Right?
Or
that's what
a sequel that changes it up? Because like, I don't know, but I think we're not counting remasters. Like the new Crash Bandicoot, that's a remaster.
That's
not
a
even touching the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Same thing with the new Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
They did a remaster of like Resident Evil 1.
But something like Tomb Raider where they're starting over.
Right.
But what you said is exactly how I feel about Bomberman. What my problem with Bomberman is. The original Bomberman is like an above.
Right.
Throw the bombs, move on, whatever. And then, and it might not be a popular opinion, I never really looked into it, but Bomberman 64 took it and put you behind him.
Yes.
And you're like throwing bombs like bowling balls stuff. And that game was great.
That's, it's funny because like when they started releasing video for Bomberman on the Switch, and I was just like, what is this?
What the hell is this? It doesn't look like Bomberman, but it does.
Yeah, because I remember playing it on the 64, and I was just like, that game was fun. This game
looks like garbage because they went back to the original Bomberman, and I don't know why. Like, it didn't work.
Right.
I knew the characters. There are no characters in this.
That's what I mean. We gotta move things forward. Like, what came before that was amazing. You can release that later on. But if you want to appeal to what's now or what worked better, I think like things like just like what you mentioned
and
with Bomberman.
It's not like
that's
they
crazy.
tried and failed like Sonic, where Sonic is now going back to its roots.
Yeah.
Because they tried to do other stuff and it failed. Bomberman, there hasn't been a new one since then.
Yeah,
like, why
since
wouldn't
64,
they do more of that? There were 3 of them on 64 that were like that, and then they fell off.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, so I didn't even want to bring up Sonic because, because there hasn't been another Sonic since Sonic 3 for Genesis. Maybe Sonic Adventure happened.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure.
I vaguely recall in a dream Sonic Adventure happened.
Yes.
I was too busy catching fish.
Carrying those things around in the garden and throwing them.
Sounds like you guys are talking about a Zelda game. This sounds horrible.
No, this was Sonic Adventure.
No, Big the Cat for life.
Yeah, Big the Cat.
What?
Running through New York City and missing the train. Not missing the train, but like getting in the train. All right, anyway.
Sonic Adventure is a great game.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm looking forward to the new Bomberman. I know John just shat all over the new Bomberman. I'm actually looking forward to it. I saw there's going to be like boss levels and stuff. Like I think they actually are going to bring it into like the new century, and I'm actually kind of excited to see how that turns out.
Did you play
That's
Bomberman 64 though?
No,
That's
not
like-
Bomberman
That might be
64.
why.
That's like playing Grand
was
Theft
really
Auto.
that much better though.
That's like playing Grand Theft Auto now, and then saying, "Oh, I liked it better when it was like overhead."
Oh, GTA 2 was.
Yeah,
I
like-
played that. That was tough.
Yeah, like
It's as if they went back and decided we're gonna make a
Like-
new GTA, but it's gonna be in the style of
yeah,
GTA 2. You're like, why?
GTA 6 overhead.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I don't know if it was overhead so much. It was kind of like at an angle.
It wasn't.
Bad.
I don't really. I don't know.
Would you play it now?
What?
GTA 2.
GTA 2? No, because I'm not a
Okay.
fan of driving anything in a bird's eye view. That drives me nuts.
Right. Because there are other games that are like that have come out now that are they're good and the graphics are similar to what GTA 2 was, but that's how you know those games now. If for some reason Rockstar was just like, yeah, we're gonna go way back to the way it used to be, you would just be like, but why? Like, I don't understand. Are you upset with us?
I don't mind games having that old school arcadey feel. Like, you imagine they went from Super Metroid to what was the big one for GameCube? Metroid Prime, right?
Right.
Okay. So, and then that was first person, or at least it was an option to be in first person.
Yeah. Metro Prime.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then imagine if like the next one they're just like, oh, we're just gonna go back to like a 2D scroll. Like, I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't be as
I mean, if the graphics were like
immersive of an environment.
if the graphics weren't, not to say not 8-bit, but if they were like, maybe in that 16-bit kind of or 32-bit kind of like look, but you could still tell that it was like smoothed out, then I could accept that with a game like Metroid. But
I'm not against them going back to the originals, like you said. Like, you want to go back to that original arcadey feel. But I'm not paying $60 for it. You want to give me Bomberman like that? Give me Bomberman. I'll pay $15 for it. I'll pay $30 a year to have it for a month. But I don't want to go out and spend. See, look, you want to bring it back. You want to bring back the original Sonic. That's a cute idea. That's cool. Don't charge me $60 for it. I don't want that. I'm not going to pay. I can't pay that.
I mean, I know this is a game that people love to talk about, but no one ever really thinks about. Like, I wonder if Sega is doing anything with it. But what about if like Altered Beast was to come back as a game? They reboot that, but instead of it being once again like a side-scrolling platformer game, it's similar to something like Skyrim, where you are actually like the guy starting off in the beginning and you're finding out about your family and like why are you capable of like transforming into all these different type of creatures. That's the thing I'm talking about. It's like taking out an original concept and like just like going up to the next level. Like we brought up Tomb Raider earlier before. Like, it was a very simple game when it first came out, and like every other iteration, they just try to make it appeal more to like boys, but not improve the character in any way. And now at this point, she's a fleshed out character. They're talking about. I mean, not even talking about. They're in production to make like the next movie. Like, forget about what Angelina Jolie did. So I feel like when you go past like what was there before and you like you do what's new, what makes sense, not go back to Bomberman bullshit.
Hey, whoa. Whoa.
Sorry, Nintendo.
I found out they actually did make another Altered Beast in 2005.
What?
I don't know what system it was, but I did see, at least through Wikipedia,
Oh my
which
God.
I know may or may not be true.
wrote that.
Yeah, John wrote that. Where I do agree with you is that I was recently in the market for a Street Fighter game, and I basically had the anticipation of the Street Fighter release on the Switch, or I could get what is currently out, which is Street Fighter V.
Right.
There is already a lot of controversy that they're going to release like it looks just like the Super Nintendo Street Fighter. It's like that, 16-bit, and maybe slightly more polished, but more or less 16-bit 2D fighting. They still want like $40 for it, and people are already like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like at that point, even if it had more characters or anything else, like there's a difference between like, it's the art style. Like, I played a lot of great, like Shovel Knight's a great example of it looks like a game on Nintendo, but it plays like a new game.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of depth to it, and it gives you the appeal of wanting more, and I'm cool with that. But if it more or less is a Super Nintendo game and they want to charge you $40 for it, I don't see a lot of people jumping on that when there's other options like
crazy.
picking up Street Fighter V for $20, used or new. That seems so silly to me.
I have an interesting example of a reboot.
Here we go.
Did you ever hear? I think we discussed it. It's not really a reboot. It's like a take a left turn sort of reboot about the Banjo-Kazooie type game.
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Yeah.
Where the creators of Banjo-Kazooie didn't have the rights to make that game anymore for Nintendo, and Xbox was sitting there doing nothing with it, even though they did reboot it, and it was awful. And then Xbox was doing nothing for it, and so the entire creative team left, and then created a new game with the same music style, the same art style, the same gameplay, and sort of rebooted Banjo-Kazooie with just two other characters, ukulele in their place. And it looks great. It looks really good, although they did just cancel it for the Wii U.
Oh, well.
But
well, yeah, I mean, like
Even the Wii U canceled the Wii U.
well, yeah, right. I got real panic because they canceled it for the Wii U, but then they said it's expected to come out for the Switch. They haven't announced it yet.
Right.
Well,
yeah,
it is
I mean,
coming
Tim
out
and
for PlayStation and Xbox. Or
Yeah.
not Xbox, PlayStation.
Tim and I talked about that before. That the Nintendo has already turned their back on the Wii U. Like, Breath of the Wild is going to be the last title for it. They've already stopped manufacturing new systems. It's like game over. March 3rd, Wii U never existed. We're all about the Switch. That's their reboot. Is them like just saying like screw it. Another dream title that I would wish to play in this generation is Kung Fu Master. I don't know if you remember that game.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was basically a game where you just like similar to I guess like Double Dragon, where you were just this one Kung Fu master and you just like went from level to level just fighting guys, you know? And I'm like, what could they do to appeal to me right now?
Sounds like the Raid.
Boom. That's exactly what I was thinking about. It's like, what if you made the Raid, but just called it Kung Fu Master and just have a guy going level to level and just beating people in different like martial arts styles. Like you have like one level and it's just like Muay Thai, and then you go to the next level and it's like Judo.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo, if you hear me, like steal these ideas, all right?
Yeah.
Even John, the bleeding Nintendo fan, wants you to do it.
Yeah, I'd buy it. As long as it's good graphics and it's not $60.
I think every time you come on the show, we're gonna call you like the bleeding Nintendo guy. It seems very accurate.
The voice of the couch jockeys and the bleeding Nintendo guy.
I'm gonna leave enough space, maybe even play this little game with you guys, if you will, for our last section of Party Chat. Bad video game movies.
Wait,
So-
are we sticking to bad video game movies, or there are some?
Like you love to hate.
One, maybe two. Okay, they're all bad. Okay.
Well, all right. So according to what I found on Wikipedia, the highest score any of these movies, I gotta get used to this now. Any of these movies I've ever gotten was a 46 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna try and throw them out to you guys, and then I'm gonna need everyone to quickly shout out their opinion on it. Whether you saw it or not. Feel free to mention that. And I think we'll get some really great responses, and I'm going to list them in chronological order.
we gonna allow time for me to defend my all-time favorite video game movie to Val, who has dared me to try to defend it to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta
As
see
a special bonus round,
Good.
I will leave you a good 5-minute block to whatever you want.
Good.
Yeah, do your best.
Okay. Let's start the clock. I'm gonna put a little clock sound. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll make a little clock. Okay. Whoever wants to go first. Super Mario Brothers in 1993.
This is the movie he's
How are you
going to
gonna
talk
start
about.
with this
He's
one?
He's going to start with the worst movie ever made.
So I'm gonna we'll play the game and then we'll track back to this one. Or do you want me to do it now?
Well, so I'm hoping to lightning round this bad boy.
So let's lightning round and then we'll backtrack.
But I want to go in chronological order, and Super Mario Brothers was the first video game movie.
That's the one I gotta talk about.
Well, I got a lot of. All right. So again, if you didn't see the movie, then you gotta at least tell me
All right.
what you would think would
So
happen.
how about this?
Okay.
We'll play lightning round.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, because, there's going to be some other games that I'm going to want to go back and defend as well.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna start from the top.
All right. We're gonna start the clock. We ready? Go. Super Mario Brothers.
Love it.
Poop.
All right. Double Dragon in 1994.
Never seen it.
I didn't even know they made a movie.
Street Fighter 1994.
I've never seen it, but I'm a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. He's in there, right?
Maybe.
I'm a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan as well, and that movie was horrible. But the animated movie was better.
Wow, I didn't even know there was an animated movie.
Mortal Kombat in 1995, and then again in 1997.
Again, now we talked about this before. There's a lot of these movies I've never seen, even though I'm like the movie guy. There's a lot of these movies I've never seen, but I know a lot about them. I can appreciate Mortal Kombat for its technical prowess, and some of its practical puppetry impresses me quite a bit. Goro looks awful, but still somehow real cool for an 80s movie.
I am surprised, first off, that movie was in the 90s. Secondly,
90s, sorry.
that movie...
So then maybe I'm wrong.
I would give Mortal Kombat the first one. I'll give it a 5 out of 500, and I will
5
give
out of 500.
And I'll give Mortal Kombat. I think the second one was Annihilation, or it might have just been Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes.
It was not. Yeah, I'll give the second movie a 1.
Nice.
out of infinity.
I own them both on Blu-ray. I've never seen them.
He's a crazy person.
1998 and 1999 brought us Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I remember seeing the first Pokemon
The first
movie.
movie. It's literally called Pokemon the first movie and Pokemon the movie 2000.
Oh yeah, the first
Even though
movie,
it came out July 17, 1999.
that was the one with like Mewtwo.
They're
right?
both great. The first
Yeah,
one was
yeah.
with Mewtwo. The second one was with the Legendary Birds. They're both amazing.
Yeah, I saw the first one and I didn't see
Yep.
the second one.
I'm glad you liked it because then they came out with Pokemon 3, the movie, in July 8th, 2000.
I own all three on the Steelbook Blu-rays. Yeah, I've never seen the third one. Actually, maybe I have because I have the card that they gave you when you went to see it in the movie theaters, but I don't remember it. It's about those legendary dogs. I don't even know what that's about.
Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider, 2001.
Again, I've never seen it. I know Daniel Craig is in it. I know that
shit, I
Angelina
forgot about
Jolie
that.
is real weak. And I did not become a Tomb Raider fan until the new ones.
Okay, all right.
So, but I can see her being
move.
literally the flat character that she was in the original games. Not because I've played the original games, just not a big fan of them.
Right.
And I could see how she was flat as a board, as those
Yeah.
games portrayed her to be.
That movie was pretty damn awful. It saddened me, knowing especially that there was going to be a sequel, and I'm like, of course they're going to cast her in it again.
Yeah.
And that one was even worse. I think John Voight was in the first one.
John Voight's her father, right?
Yeah, yeah, John
Angelina
Voight's
Jolie's
the first
actual
one.
father.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one. Daniel Craig might be in the second one. I don't know.
It's a good thing he has James Bond.
I mean, I hate to tell you guys, but I think a lot of people were really upset considering that this is listed to be, the box office revenue for the first Tomb Raider movie made an astounding $274 million.
Of course it did.
why there's a second one.
That is
Angelina Jolie's in it.
significantly more than anything else on this list.
Yeah, that's why there's a second one.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was going to make that much money.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Anybody?
That was a good one.
I was at the time with Final Fantasy where I didn't realize that they were all different characters, and I was like, "Where's Cloud?"
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah,
it came
yeah.
out, and I was like, "This is garbage," and then I never saw it.
Yeah, because Cloud was supposed to be in like every single.
Well, I
Final
didn't know that.
Fantasy.
I had played 7, and I was like, "These are the characters," and then I
Right.
realized everyone's different, and the movie is just like that, totally different. I'm like, "Who cares?"
All right, we're gonna hit the sweet spot because we're starting to kind of turn into the late 2000s, a little past 10 years now.
The sweet spot.
Resident Evil 2002.
Okay, so I've been terrified of Resident Evil. You're gonna hear. I'm telling you, for a movie guy, you're gonna be amazed at how many of these
Right.
I've never seen.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been terrified of Resident Evil always. And then someone told me that somebody gets like chopped into cubes by lasers, and I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
staying away from that. Now there's been 8 of them, and I have no idea. I've never seen any of them.
Oh man, it's funny because even though I haven't seen it, if you look at the trailers for the most recent Resident Evil movie, they like replicate that scene of like the guy
Ooh.
getting like or somebody getting like diced up
Yeah.
by lasers. But that Resident Evil movie, that very first one, it felt like if you played the Resident Evil game, it felt that tense.
Yeah.
Like you were always just like waiting for when are they gonna get attacked. When is this gonna all turn bad?
That's crazy.
Because right now everybody just seems like they're kind of like just too cool for school at the moment.
Yeah.
And then Michelle Rodriguez was in there.
Yeah. Mike Epps was in it, right?
Mike
was-
Epps was in the second
in
one.
the second one.
How do you know all this? Like,
Bro, I'm telling you, I
trivia
know
about this
all
stuff. Like,
any movie you could name. I know a lot about it, regardless of whether or not I've seen it.
oh man.
Yeah.
Jill Valentine was in the second one. Nah, those movies were dope.
It's
man.
you know what it is. It's that I'm interested in them. Mila Jovovich is great.
Yeah.
Fifth Element, love her. She's so good. So and then she's married to the director,
right. That's
Paul Van Hosen or whatever his name is.
That's how you. That's how you get work.
Well, that's why they keep making more. He met her on the 1st
Isn't
one.
Kate Blanchett married to the guy who directs Underworld?
I don't know. I'd love to be married to Kate. I say that all the time. I've never seen Underworld either. I've just seen Kate Blanchett
my
on talk
God.
shows, and I'm like, I love Kate Blanchett. I don't know what it is. And that's Kate Beckinsale, by the way.
2003 brought us Lara Croft,
you're
Tomb
right.
Raider, The Cradle of Life.
Yeah, Cradle of Life. I was trying to remember the name of the sequel. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Did he bring up the second Tomb Raider movie right now?
He brought it up.
Did he just bring it up?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's on the list.
Look, you get that off the list.
Get
Go
it
into
off,
whatever
Cradle
list
of
that is
Life.
on. Tell him to get it off.
House of the Dead, 2003.
There was a House of the Dead movie, like the one from like the arcade machines in the bowling alley.
I beg of you, lower your excitement.
Were they
okay?
throwing axes?
I
Did you
beg
throw
of you.
axes? Did the
Okay.
guys come right up to the screen and scratch at the screen? That's what I want to see.
Several of his other movies may show up on this list, but that movie was made by director Uwe Bolt,
Okay.
Horrible director.
Really?
He would just take any video game that was not very popular, like maybe not a AAA game, and then make the movie, and it was horrible. With House of the Dead, he thought it would be a good idea that in the middle of a horror movie, you're going to have someone go in the first-person mode when they're like running through the forest and like trying to shoot zombies. You would think it sounds great.
Well, because of the game,
but it made it look like the game, and it was horrible.
I don't know, those cutscenes in those games on the arcade.
He also made,
so cool.
I think he also made Postal, Blood Rain, just shit.
Wow. Tell us how you feel, Val.
Resident Evil Apocalypse, 2004.
Are we gonna go through every single Resident Evil game?
yeah,
Every movie?
yeah.
I've never
All right,
seen
all
it.
right.
At some point, we're gonna have to like stop this list and like see if John can truly defend Super Mario Brothers.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. Alone in the Dark, which was kind of a cool game.
No,
But now, all
I
right.
didn't see that.
How about Doom in 2005?
Doom. Okay, so now Doom is a game, one of the first violent video games I ever played. It scared the crap out of me. I never saw the movie because I was terrified of it. The
bro.
Rock was in it.
Yes.
And then The Rock, turns bad or something? Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
I think The
yeah.
Rock is a bad guy at the end.
They get like
If you, I'm sorry if there's anybody out there who's been really holding on to Doom.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of The Rock's forgotten movies. That's one of his
I didn't
first.
forget it. No, because I didn't forget it because I think Carl Urban is in that movie as well.
Sure. Yeah.
And after seeing him, I think it was in like Chronicles of Riddick.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Like everything he's
Bones,
done after.
Star
Yeah,
Trek,
yeah.
he's great.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people may say no, but Doom to me was actually like a pretty.
Was it very
good
similar
movie.
to the game at all? It didn't look it. The game,
I mean, just
everything
like-
in the game was red, and then everything in the movie advertisements and the trailers, everything was blue.
blue. Yeah, yeah.
And that threw me off because I'm like, Doom is like red and fire. Why
Kind
is
of-
it blue?
Kind of like my how upset I got with Uwe Bolt with what he did with House of the Dead.
Yeah, yeah.
There was also a moment where they went into first person, but it looked a lot more.
Did they put the
for
character's
me-
face at the bottom of the screen? That's what they should do.
For me, it felt a lot better, or maybe it was just because it was The Rock and everyone.
Yeah,
You know, I love
was
The
into
Rock.
The Rock
He's
at
the,
that
he's the
point.
best.
Yeah.
Hitman, 2007.
I loved Hitman, and I've never played the games,
Yeah.
but I mean, I had never played the games at the time, and I loved that movie, the first one with
Timothy
Oliphant.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought he was an odd choice to play Hitman,
Just made him bald. Yeah.
but I think the movie was pretty solid. I liked it.
yeah, I love the first Hitman and Hitman Agent 47.
I never got to see Agent 47. I want to see, but it's complete. It ignores that the first one happened.
Yeah, two completely new story.
Yeah.
Back to reboots.
Yeah.
Did anybody see Tekken in 2010?
I didn't see Tekken. I remember it happening. I didn't see Tekken. It was if
even make $1 million.
I'd see it. I'd see it if there's a little
Pardon?
human wearing a tiger's head.
It didn't even make $1 million.
Did not even make $1 million. 967,000.
Great.
What did it get released in Guam? Like what
Yeah.
the damn?
If there's a person wearing a tiger's head, I'm in.
Need for Speed, 2014.
That one I've never seen.
With Aaron Paul, whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? Aaron Paul. Oh
No.
yeah.
That's-
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
That's-
never got around to it.
That's the only
You're in
reason why I
2014.
almost saw that movie.
You skip Max Payne?
Yeah, skip Max
Come
Payne.
on, Max Payne.
Oh my
Max
god! All
Payne is
right. Max
trash.
Payne.
It's trash. No.
Yeah.
I like the games though, so I was really hoping for it. And if you go back and you look at Max Payne 2, or Max Payne the first one, where his face
Right.
is stuck in one position the whole game.
Yeah.
If you look at Max Payne 1 and you tell me that Johnny Knoxville should not have played Max Payne, I would fight you on that 100%. He looks exactly like him. Mark Wahlberg, Angels, Ludacris. I don't know what's happening in that movie,
Well, I
but I
mean-
do own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it before. It's odd because there are some comparisons to the very first game in the movie that make like where he just like starts dreaming and he's like in a completely different world. But once he introduced angels and demons, I was just like, what is this? This
They
is
did do the slow motion though, which was the first game that really did slow motion.
right.
The first Max
Yeah,
Payne game.
yeah.
That's what it was kind of known for, and they did it in the movie, which was cool.
Bullet time.
Yeah, it was great.
Ratchet and Clank, 2016.
Ratchet and Clank. Okay, so I didn't see it, but I know a guy who's a big fan of Ratchet and Clank, and he was real excited for it. And I didn't understand that because Ratchet and Clank looked like you were just watching a very long cutscene. If they're not going to do anything new with it, then what the hell's the point? And we'll get there. But I said something too similar about another movie that's coming out soon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
This
go into
guy,
Ratchet and Clank.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank. Didn't see it.
Oh.
Warcraft 2016.
So I don't know Warcraft. My girlfriend is a big fan of Warcraft, and even she was like, I don't care. And so we didn't see it.
Yeah, I never played WoW, so it wasn't.
Well, that's the
it
thing.
wasn't
It's
appealing
not
to
WoW.
me.
She's a big fan of WoW.
Isn't it
and-
World of Warcraft?
No, it's just Warcraft. And so I know somebody who's a big World of Warcraft fan and was like, if they'd have made a movie of World of Warcraft, that'd have been great. But this is like thousands of years before that. It's all lore. And he was like,
okay.
I don't care about the lore at all. So he didn't see it.
Assassin's Creed 2016.
I've bought every Assassin's Creed game since they came out. I
Wow.
bought them on day one, every single one of them.
Whew.
I love Assassin's Creed. I had absolutely zero interest in
What?
this movie. It looked boring as hell.
It's Michael Fassbender.
It looked terrible. It looked like they completely abandoned anything that was salvageable from the first game. And I heard that it is terrible. It's the type of game, the same that of Prince of Persia, that you
Ooh.
look at it and you say, this should be a great movie.
Right.
And then it isn't a great movie at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't
didn't-
seen it.
I didn't
That's-
see.
It
I didn't
got
see
terrible
it either.
reviews.
I didn't see it either because the thing that started off this whole discussion is video game movies. It's the biggest roll of the dice. They're worse than comic book movies.
Yeah.
Like you're entering a video game movie and you're like, how are you gonna like even with Need for Speed? Just looking at that is like it's a game about driving cars. Now you're trying to give me dialogue?
Yeah.
Like get out of here. Like,
I'm gonna wrap
that's
it
gotta
up.
be That's got to be the end unless you said 2016.
The last one that I wanted to mention was
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
we'll get that. The last thing I wanted to mention some honorable mentions that are expected to come out in the next couple
Right.
years. So please gather your thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, Minecraft the movie, Pokemon's Detective Pikachu, and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. It depends. It could be a serious horror movie, but they wouldn't do that. The Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm willing to give it a shot. If it's a kids movie, then maybe not. But if it's like a middle
It has
of
to
the
be
day,
animated,
it
yeah.
has to be animated. What was the other one you said? Minecraft. I don't even know how that's a video game. It's like
Right.
awful. And
The Pokemon game.
Pokemon.
Pikachu the detective?
Here's the
What?
thing. I've wanted a live action Pokemon movie my whole life. Detective Pikachu is not it.
No
There-
way.
I looked at something like wasn't Transformers, but like that,
Okay.
and I said, "Oh, it might have been Pacific Rim."
Yeah, Pacific
And I
Rim
said
was
to
dope.
myself, "This could be a real Pokemon movie." Not that Pacific Rim is like more Power Rangers, but like
Right.
you could do a live action Pokemon movie with the things. They look real. They're in the world. It doesn't have to be ultra violent like people make it ultra violent.
Yeah.
A real life live action Pokemon movie could be great. Detective Pikachu is not it. That's not
Right.
the one I've wanted. It's almost like, and I was a big fan of the female Ghostbusters, but it's similar to the female Ghostbusters. I've waited X amount of years for this. This is what you give me, and it's not what I wanted at all. It's not even in the same world as what I wanted.
Maybe it'll be Ash and then like Pikachu is just wearing like a detective hat.
No, it's about a Pikachu that speaks English and is a detective and is one of the only Pokemon in the world and lives in a world.
Feels like I gotta get that.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people want him
You're
to be
making
voiced.
that up.
A lot of people want him to be voiced by Danny DeVito, and that would be a different situation. That I would be okay with. There's actually a video if you look it up online. Someone took clips of him from Always Sunny and
Okay.
put it all over the trailer for Detective Pikachu, and it's like amazing. He's like, they're trash. Like it's amazing. It's pretty
I'm
amazing.
surprised that on this list for what's coming up is not Rampage, which is gonna have like Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Rampage or Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, and then the next Tomb Raider movie. Like
Right.
Yeah, but I had to wrap up the list. I had to skip some of the other
Oh,
ones.
okay, all right. But you
Well, Rampage.
wrap up the list and you bring up a Minecraft game. Like who like how many people?
That was-
I mean, there are a
it was
lot
on
of
the
people.
list.
There are a lot of people who play Minecraft. I shouldn't be so critical of my co-host. I apologize, Tim. But yeah, Rampage and I guess it's gonna be interesting. It sounds like it's gonna be type of like Godzilla. Maybe like it'll be like Godzilla and like King Kong and
And a giant wolf.
yeah, and a giant wolf.
And Tomb Raider, just real quick, Tomb Raider is what I was talking about before, where I don't need a new Tomb Raider movie. I think it looks good. She looks good in it.
Right.
They just started the trailer, the shooting it. I don't need it. The game was so good. It looked so realistic. The story was told so well that for you to give me basically the same thing, only I don't get to play any of it. I just
Okay.
have to watch the whole thing. I'm like, you already told me this, and I don't want them to change the story because the story of the first reboot Tomb Raider was so good.
Yeah.
Like, do that story, but then in the same vein, I don't really need to see it again. I've seen it, and I don't. If I'm not going to get to play any of it, what the hell's the point? Why am I going to watch?
I mean, even though I haven't played it and they haven't released that much footage about it, the same thing could be said about Uncharted. Like, Uncharted and like the new Tomb Raider, they both play out like it's a movie. Like, they both have really great cutscenes, and you just feel like you are in an adventure and you're like experiencing this person's story.
And Last of Us. Why?
And there's gonna be a
Why?
Last of Us movie
Yeah, I
coming
don't know
out like
why.
at some point. Like, it's just, it's Hollywood. They don't have any. They don't have any fresh ideas or any fresh ideas. They're afraid of putting money behind it. So why not put money behind video games? And because video games make a lot of money.
Right.
Plain and simple, guys.
Any final thoughts since we've reviewed this list regarding our subject of video game movies as a whole? What have we learned? What can we take from this list today?
It's only possible if done very, very carefully and with something where you feel like there needs to be more said. A lot of video games, they're almost 20 hours, 30, 40 hours long.
Right.
If you don't have enough time to say what you need to say in 40 hours, there's no way you're going to say it in 2 hours in a way that anybody cares.
Val, final thoughts.
I think that if, especially with video games that we have now, and they're capable of like putting in so much in the story and making you feel like you're in that world, that people who want to make movies around them, they're capable of doing that. But give me a story or a continuation to something that I just completed to make me feel like I'm not necessarily playing the game, but I'm getting to know more about that character. And instead of just making me feel like, with like the Street Fighter movie, like they just try to like toss in things in there that just didn't fit, and like created this like ridiculous story, and it was just like, this doesn't work. Make me like with Hitman, it wasn't connected to any of the games. It was just, this is his background. Boom. Now you're seeing him
Here's
go out.
movie.
Yeah, boom. You're going to see him perform a job, and like what happens along the way. That's what I think that they should do. Like outline things like that, even though a lot of people didn't like Hitman. But I felt like it was one of the better games because it was just like, even though Max Payne had like the bullet time, it wasn't necessary. I didn't need bullet time. We saved that for the Matrix. All right? That's where bullet time belongs. John, I dare you. I dare you to defend Super Mario Brothers. Upon my research
Yes.
on this film,
Yes.
it came out the same year as Jurassic Park.
Came out before Jurassic Park, yeah?
It came a month before
A
Jurassic
month
Park.
before Jurassic
It
Park.
cost $20 million less.
Yep.
I don't know if that's something that you can tell in a movie. The only reason why I bring it up is because they both have some type of dinosaur-type creature.
Yeah.
And the dinosaur that they had that was the best-looking one throughout the whole movie, talking about Super Mario Brothers,
Sure.
was Yoshi. Yoshi, watching the movie, I watched it recently to make sure I'm not just bashing it for no reason.
I'm sorry you had to do that.
Yoshi looked pretty legit. He looked like, the small velociraptors.
Yeah.
From compared to like the Jurassic Park movie. But that movie was horrible. Like I don't understand anything that's happening. Like it.
Okay, but now here's the thing, and I've been a big fan of that movie for my whole life. I've always loved it. Okay, and the directors hated it. The directors fought the whole time. Bob Hoskins hated it the entire time so much.
John Leguizamo hated it.
John Leguizamo hated it, although he did come and do the 20th anniversary documentary that's on the Blu-ray that I'm getting next week. But yeah, no, there was a lot of issues with that movie. The thing is, and I say this all the time, I defy you to tell me a better way to do Super Mario Brothers as a live-action movie. Think about the things that are in that movie. Think
Okay.
about Super Mario,
Yes.
the game, the
Right.
story of the game, and
Yeah.
think about the movie. It is two brothers.
Okay.
They are Italian. We know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I guess
They
so.
are plumbers. We know that.
None of them are really Italian.
No. But in the movie, there are two brothers. They're Italian. They're plumbers, right?
Yes.
They go down the pipes.
From Brooklyn.
They go down the Brooklyn. There are things that are added into the movie that's dumb, but
Yeah.
they go down the pipes to go into this world where everything is strange.
Mm-hmm.
There are turtles the size of them.
Right.
There are mushrooms everywhere that help them do things.
No, they call it fungus.
They call it fungus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they do. Oh no, okay, so
The fungus was
it's
like
not a good movie. It's not a good movie in a lot of ways. But I am arguing that there is no better way to do a Super Mario movie than that. The princess, the bad guy is the hybrid dinosaur or whatever. You got to go through his cousins to get to him. There's what does Toad do in the game? He like warns you about what's coming,
Right.
And then he helps the princess, which is exactly what he does in the movie. Yoshi,
try to get her some food.
right. Yoshi is the only one. He's the only dinosaur that's like on their side.
Right.
They have the shoes. They have the power-ups. They have literally anything
silly.
you could think of.
And
it's exactly what they do in the movie. And people say, "Oh, what the hell were they doing?" They were doing Super Mario. There's nothing. They're talking now about.
That goes back to how before I like started to attack you on this.
Right.
Is when you take too many things from the property, from the game, and try to like shoehorn it into a movie. It just does not work.
It doesn't
I
work.
feel like, maybe before they attempted the live action movie, that they should have done something animated.
Well, that
problem-
they did do,
the
but
problem-
it didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, that worked.
The
but it
problem
wouldn't
with
have worked as a
Nintendo
movie, yeah.
is like, it's Super Mario, it's a kids game, so you have to appeal to kids. Because there was a I'm sure that they probably had a more like G-rated, less than G, over, like maybe PG-13
Yeah.
version of the script, and they decided to go another way because they wanted it to be family friendly.
Sure.
To me, the movie is just like it. I don't know what direction they were going for. Like,
Yeah, so there are a lot of issues with it, and there are a lot of things that they probably shouldn't have done, and they put too much in there. But my argument for it being a terrible Super Mario
But when
movie,
you break it down, it does sound like better.
it's exactly what it is. There's,
So he got you.
No, he didn't get me. No, he didn't get me.
I mean, I'm not here to try to convince anybody that it's a good movie. That'd be a real tough task.
Right.
But that it's exactly what it set out to be. I mean, they go down the pipes. They do the whole thing. There's some stuff in there like the rock and the meteoroid, the
meteor,
the
and
meteor, things like that don't make sense. How about there's a scene in the movie where Scaletta, who is the other he's like the business developer. He's like the other plumber guy.
Yeah.
And he's going against Mario. And then when they cross over into the real world, they beam him with the de-evolving ray.
de-evolve device.
And he turns into a monkey wearing a tie.
Yeah.
Do you know that the original plan for a sequel for that movie would have included him growing and becoming Donkey Kong? Why he's the monkey in the tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
so
that
like
sounds...
things like that are real cool, but the thing is, it was executed really strangely.
I think that if they, after seeing what happened with the first movie, if some of the ideas that they stuck onto them, because you could tell kind of that they wanted a sequel, because when the movie ends,
Oh yeah.
Daisy, Luigi is all sad because he had to leave Daisy behind and leave the other world, and Mario is having a good time with his girl, and then Daisy comes through at the door and she's knocking on it, and she's got this like automatic weapon in her hand, and she's like, "I need you guys to come back," and they're like, "Oh, we're ready."
Yeah.
And then it ends.
That's the end.
It's just like when I saw that, I was just like, did they really have the gall to believe that they were gonna make a sequel?
I don't know.
But now that you bring,
There's a sequel comic online if you care to see
now
it.
that you bring this up, and I saw that, I heard about that as well. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
That's just, why not go for it? But it didn't. I don't think it probably didn't make.
Well,
all the
Nintendo
money.
shut down any prospect of making movies after that. They openly say that that's the reason they've never made a movie out of one of their properties,
It makes
because that
sense.
movie did so poorly. But I don't know. You look
That's
at something
probably
like
why,
Lord of the Rings, and you look at this could be Zelda.
Yeah.
Legolas is just Zelda. Like the
It's
whole
true.
movie could be
100%. Yeah,
like
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's going to be a Super Mario Brothers TV show. Apparently, there's rumors of a Super Mario Brothers computer animated TV show on Nickelodeon, and that works. But if you want to do a live action Super Mario Brothers movie, I can't think of a way that you would avoid including many of the things that are in that movie. Could be done a lot better. Could be performed a lot better or whatever. But a lot of the factors are exactly what they need to be.
Just no mushrooms, man.
No, well, no. What do you mean no mushrooms? in Super Mario? You need mushrooms.
No coin ups. No, like.
Before we wrap up tonight, I want to challenge John Panepinto over here to defend Pixels, another favorite of his.
Oh my God!
No, I have not. Val, have you seen Pixels?
No, I have. No,
Okay.
I don't trust Adam Sandler.
If I give you 1 minute, could you, in a minute,
Sell
defend
Pixels.
and sell Pixels to me?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna start the clock. You ready for this?
Yes.
Oh man,
I'm gonna get him while he's here. All right.
this is a lightning
You
challenge.
Yes, I'm ready.
I'll say when.
1, 2, go.
Okay, so now I am typically I defend Adam Sandler a lot, even though I know that his stuff is real bad, a lot of it. Pixels has a great cast and a great concept. The aliens see what we send them, and they come back to Earth thinking that this is what's going to defeat us, and they come back as Centipede, and they come back as Space Invaders, and they come back as all these things. And basically, it becomes Ghostbusters for video games. 4, losers end up having these weapons that fight the things. And it is dumb, funny, whatever. The action is so fun. The driving around as ghosts with Pac-Man chasing you around, it's so fun. And
Why are the aliens coming back as video game characters?
because we put video games in a time capsule and sent it into space. And so they get the time capsule, and they see that and come back replicating what they... it's a dumb concept.
The short.
But it's so fun.
better.
It's so fun, and it
what I hear.
looks awesome. It looks awesome. The graphics are awesome. I don't know how you can
Your
look
time
at that
is
movie.
up.
I don't know how you can look at that movie and not say that it at least looks awesome.
Hey man, look.
Like
it
the
might,
graphics,
It might
fantastic.
look awesome, but is Josh Gad in there?
is, yeah.
I don't trust Josh Gad. I don't trust Adam Sandler.
Did
Like,
he borrow $1 from you and never
Nah,
pay you
it's
back?
just like everything that Josh Gad is in. I'm just looking at this guy as you must have great relatives, because this is the only reason why these respected actors or comedians are allowing you to be in their work. I don't find them that funny. And then Adam Sandler, he failed on me with Lil Nicky and Don't Mess with the Zohan. I'm just this guy just stopped caring about it. He just I can make whatever, and people are gonna give me money. So
I don't want to sound like that guy. There are so many awful Adam Sandler movies. So many awful Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
And I won't defend any of them. But Don't Mess with His Own Hand is great.
oh my God, that's,
And I'm not saying that Pixels is funny.
you can't.
Just for the record, I'm not saying Pixels is particularly funny. I just think
Isn't that its purpose?
it depends how you look at it. If you go into it going, this is supposed to be a comedy, then it doesn't work. If you go into it
Oh my
going, this is a
God.
cool action movie with a cool concept, then 100% works.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for joining us, John.
Thank you for joining us, John.
You're very welcome. Anytime.
I can't wait for your spinoff. We are your hosts. I am Tim Shortell,
And this has been Valerie Janvier.
and we are the Couch Jockeys. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful night.
Game over.